Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to Onalaska High School as we celebrate with our graduates. My name is Jared Schaffner, principal at Onalaska High School. Please stand for our class of 2025. one of our student leaders, Maggie Van Evenhoven, will begin our ceremony with a welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maggie Van Evenhoven, and I would love to welcome you to the 2025 graduation ceremony. I'm so happy I have the honor to express my gratitude today as someone who has been a part of multiple communities within our school. Every group I've been a part of, whether it's in the classroom, music, arts, sports, I have felt such a sense of family. On behalf of the senior class, thank you. Because of the motivation from coaches, the love from our families, the pride from directors, and especially because of the knowledge from our teachers, we sit here today excited for the communities of our future. To kick off this ceremony, we ask all who are able to please rise and direct your attention to the flag in the back of the gym for the lovely Kylie McNeese singing the national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ringing, the bombs bursting in air, gave forth through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Our first senior address will be given by Jenna Ganson. Good luck, Jenna.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to my graduation. If we have this big a turnout at my grad party, we're going to need to make more pasta salad. As a senior, I believe an Onalaska High School education has prepared us well for the future. Some people think math was useless, but it taught us to think critically. English taught us how to communicate and figure out what's reliable on the internet. History taught us how to look like we're listening when we're really not, which is an important skill to have sometimes. Computer apps taught us to type quickly. Foods taught us to cook. Personal finance taught us how to get rich. PE taught us the rules to the games we're supposed to play when we're rich. For example, croquet. We've also learned to use AI as a tool to aid comprehension. For those of you who are not familiar, AI is extremely versatile. It can help with homework, essays, graduation speeches, really anything. But what's more important than all this are the interpersonal skills we've learned that will take us so far in life. Things like collaboration, empathy, and kindness. One time freshman year, I dropped my calculator. The plus button came off and the little display screen cracked. I picked it up really fast so no one would notice. But then this kid who was sitting behind me said, "Did you break your calculator? Here, I've got an extra." And he gave me, and he opened his pencil case to reveal not one, not two, but 3 scientific calculators in different colors, so I took the blue one. That was a weird day. Unfortunately, that did not actually happen to me. The story was invented by AI. But nonetheless, I believe this senior class has contributed to the culture at Onalaska High School with our kindness. Every day, I noticed small acts of kindness like door holding and pencil lending, and more meaningful gestures like making others feel valued. On the wall by the office, there is a map that shows where many of our graduates are heading next. This map shows where people are going, but it also represents the spreading of Onalaska values all over the world. In this way, our graduation celebrates more than just the end of our time here at this school. Our graduation celebrates the collective impact we will make in many places, most of them within Wisconsin and some far beyond. Thank you.
Our second senior address will be given by Snigdha Rajmanuri.
I'd like to begin by saying congratulations, class of 2025. Our high school journey finally comes to an end. Finally. I think most of us have been counting down the days since September 3rd. I'm proud of how far we've come as students and as people since we started, and the lessons we've learned as high schoolers are worth remembering through the next chapters of our lives. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the long-running joke that the moment we walk out the doors of the school for the last time, the run-down, tattered school we know and love is transformed into a pristine beauty. They did that first with the middle school, which is now completely unrecognizable. Everyone who went to OMS remembers the stained carpets and unflattering hallways. Unfortunately, this phenomenon applies to us as well. I'm sure we all loved hearing blaring construction noises when we were trying to take tests and watching the entrances to our school get blocked off or get demolished one by one, making it impossible to get to the main parking lot. Getting out of school this year was a traffic nightmare. I will say this did teach us an important lesson: how to be resourceful, patient, and how to adjust, making us some of the most adaptable students, if not the most adaptable students that have ever walked out of OHS. Speaking of the parking lot, our class was particularly thrilled when the junior and senior parking spaces were merged into one big lot. It brought me great joy that I was fortunate enough to park all the way back by Roe Park, and that my whopping $40 purple senior parking pass pretty much meant nothing. Most of us had a lot to say about this. But at the end of the day, this situation did teach us how to be efficient and punctual so we can make the long trek to the common stores, often in the freezing cold or blistering wind. I always used to hate on seniority until, of course, we became seniors, so it makes sense the school decided to get rid of parking separations just for our senior class. Another testament to the resilient students we are. I can also say with confidence that we were the most productive and focused class, as the district's installation of LineWise on our Chromebooks made it virtually impossible to access any so-called distractions. I really did enjoy opening up a tab, often one I actually needed for schoolwork, only to find the content blocked notice with a huge School District of Onalaska logo. Even cool math games, which I sincerely urge the district to unblock so future generations of students can get better at math. Still, I'd argue these irritations served a greater educational purpose to make us smart, hardworking, and resilient students. The phone caddies, too. Our district just wanted us to be the best students we could be, the most locked-in class Onalaska has ever seen. It forced us to stay on task, sometimes. In all seriousness, I really do appreciate the lessons we've learned and these experiences we've shared together, even if they were at our expense. I genuinely believe we can apply many of these lessons to our lives beyond high school, no matter where we go. Our class is truly one that is versatile and diligent, and we've proven this by overcoming these numerous obstacles, which are definitely the biggest challenges we will ever face. I'd like to end with what I believe are the three most important, most useful things we've learned from OHS from day one in freshman biology: lions, elephants, and penguins. When things get hard, at least we know that lions are carnivores, how to grow plants and elephant poop, and that penguins adapt to new environments. So maybe not the first two, but we're all certainly capable of adapting to our lives beyond high school and all the new environments we will someday encounter. Thank you.
In following a tradition, the seniors in concert choir selected the song for graduation. At this time, our concert choir will sing Motet by Antonio Latti. Ayush Daithankar will give our third and final senior address.
Good afternoon, class of 2025, and thank you for nominating me as a student speaker. Congratulations to each and every one of you for making it to this day. It's one that we've awaited for years, one that marks not only the end of high school, but one that marks the beginning of everything that comes next, and it feels so unreal. But I'm sure you've already felt and heard of that astonishment plenty of times today. Now, don't get me wrong, I also can't believe I'm finally actually wearing the cap and gown I scrambled to find 2 nights ago after misplacing it for like 6 months, thinking this day was so distant. But I think my time here at the podium could be better well spent, not restating this disbelief we all feel over and over again, and then ending with some overarching life lesson that many of us, including myself, will probably forget by the time we take off our gowns and celebrate tonight. So instead, I'd like to reflect on something simpler, something that may seem insignificant, but has remained with me more than any form of scholarly achievement: riding the bus. For me, riding the bus takes me back to trips with my soccer and tennis teams, to matches. On our late journeys back home, I immediately recall sore legs, shared complaints of unfinished homework, and our groaning as soon as somebody announces we need to make a stop because they have to go to the bathroom. But I also remember the music sounding through a fence speaker as we laughed over snacks and stories, the freedom of having my own seat to stretch or sleep on, and most importantly, the happiness of getting to skip school for the day. Maybe for some of you, riding the bus means something else. Maybe it was heading to a recital with fellow musicians, traveling with a club to a competition, or flying with classmates and Senor Beckstrom to Costa Rica for a language trip. Or maybe it wasn't a physical journey at all. Maybe it was simply time spent in the hallway, at lunch, or after school, with people who made you feel like you belonged. Whatever your version is, I want you to pause and relive it for the moment. Remember that feeling of just being with people with no clear agenda, just time to talk, laugh, and to be yourselves. We often see a day like this, graduation, as the pinnacle of personal achievement. The grades, the awards, the games, the scholarships. And while all these things are important, they're not what we'll take with us most. Moments like riding the bus show us that what lasts most are the relationships, the late-night conversations, the unexpected moments of kindness, the inside jokes, the shared memories, and the people who stood by us ever since day one. As we leave here today and step into the future, let's not forget what truly defines our time in high school. We can be certain that the bonds we've made with our friends, family, and teachers as we've grown up here in Onalaska are strong enough to carry us into success as we move on to bigger and better things, whether that's in college, the military, the workforce, and anywhere else. It has been an honor growing up alongside each and every single one of you. Thanks for the memories, the friendships, and the countless bus rides. I can't wait to see where the road takes us next. Thank you.
And now, Board of Education member Miss Ann Garrity will address the class.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'd like to first introduce the other members of the Board of Education who are here with me today. Aaron McDonald, Mark Casilius, Eric Archer, and Bridget Thomas. It is a privilege to serve this community in our capacity, and this ceremony is definitely one of the highlights and most meaningful moments of our service each year. This event brings together our community to celebrate the remarkable achievements of the graduates sitting here before us today. It's truly an honor to be here with you. Today, we gather to celebrate your academic achievements, years of learning, studying, writing, questioning, and personal growth. You've passed the test, turned in the projects, and reached the finish line. This is a big deal, and we are very proud of you. What makes this moment even more significant is how you arrived here, not just through your intellect, but through your character. Over these past years, you've developed skills that extend beyond academics. You've learned resilience when faced with challenges. You've learned to speak up when it mattered. You have cultivated care for yourselves, for others, and for the world around you. You've demonstrated empathy by supporting each other when it would have been easier to turn away. You've learned how to collaborate, listen, lead, and grow, becoming not only smarter, but kinder. These lessons will serve you well throughout your lives. Your academic talents will open doors, but your compassion, courage, and emotional resilience will help you walk through those doors with purpose. That's what gives us hope for our future. You're not just smart, you're good. You're thoughtful, you care, and we need more of that in the world. On behalf of the school board, I want to thank your families, your teachers, and everyone who's walked alongside you on this journey. But most of all, I want to thank you, the class of 2025, for inspiring us with your perseverance, your growth, and your kindness. Congratulations.
And now, one of our interim co-superintendents, Mr. Roger Fruit, will address the class.
Families, faculty, guests, and graduates, we gather here today not just to celebrate the end of one journey, but the beginning of another. Over the past 4 years, these students have worked hard, overcome challenges, and grown into the bright, determined individuals we see before us, ready to take on the world. Mr. Schaffner, I need to stop myself right here. In the name of academic honesty, I confess that I asked ChatGPT to create an opening for a superintendent's speech for a high school graduation, and that is just what you heard. It was clean, it was polite, but it was entirely generated through AI, artificial intelligence. As a result, it lacked human heart, my heart. For a few moments, I want to talk to you about a different kind of AI, what I'm calling authentic interaction. And I promise these words are my own, cross my heart. Graduates, take a moment to look around at your classmates. Some of you who you've known for 4, 7, maybe even 13 years. Believe it or not, this might be the last time that you see some of them. So make it count. Share hugs, handshakes, high fives, but don't forget to say the things that you might never have the chance to say in person again. Thanks for being a great friend. I'll miss you. Let me know if I can ever help you. That's authentic interaction. That involves your heart. And when this ceremony ends in a few minutes, extend that same authenticity to your families. Hug the people who showed up for you. Tell your parents or guardians that you love them and thank them for their support. And yes, be patient when they ask for just one more picture, because they will. They've earned it. I want to end my remarks with a personal story that paints a picture of what I'm suggesting for you. Peter Warple was a dear friend of mine and a colleague, not only of mine, but many others in this room. He was a longtime OHS principal prior to Mr. Schaffner. Many years ago, at an OHS graduation ceremony on this stage and behind this very podium, Peter spontaneously broke out into song, singing an a cappella blessing over his graduating class in his beautiful baritone voice. It was amazing. It was an unbelievably authentic interaction with his students and the rest of us in that room that created a moment that was filled with his heart, a moment that created a memory. And I contend that it's the collection of memories that make us rich. I know that I'm a rich man as I reflect on that memory today. As you move from today into the next chapter of your lives, remember, your achievements matter, but it's the heart connections you've made and will continue to make that will define you. Never underestimate the power of showing up for others with authenticity with your heart. I encourage you to make a memory today and tomorrow and throughout your life. Go make yourself rich with memories. Class of 2025, we wish you all the best. Congratulations. And now, for the making of another memory, the diploma presentation. On behalf of the Board of Education and Administration, I am proud to announce that the Onalaska High School class of 2025 has completed the prescribed course of study as set forth by the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. To all present, I proclaim that these students are entitled to receive their respective diplomas. And as a symbol of moving from student to graduate, and as the last collective class of 2025 authentic interaction, students, please move your tassel from the right side of your mortarboard to the left. Incidentally, this is also so the tassel won't be in your front of your face when you get your picture taken. It is with a deep sense of pride that we now present the class of 2025 to Aaron McDonald, President of the Board of Education, who along with other members of the board will make the diploma presentations. Thank you.
Onalaska High School staff members who wish to congratulate the class can move forward to my right at this time. Today we'll have students receive honor cords. Students that have the white honor cords have completed their course of study with a GPA of 3.5 or higher over 8 semesters of high school. Students that have the silver high honor cords have a 3.5 GPA, as well as successful honor course completion in at least 3 core areas and 1 from a non-core area. And finally, our students with the gold highest honor cords have a 3.5 GPA, as well as successful honor course completion in all 4 core areas and at least 2 different non-core areas. There's symbolism in how our diplomas are presented today. Today is about an entire district and community coming together to celebrate the educational journey of these outstanding young adults. To my right, OHS staff members will congratulate students as they prepare to leave Onalaska High School. Our superintendent will congratulate each member of the class as he represents all of the staff in the district. Our board members and our district administrators, the individuals for overseeing the mission of ensuring a high level of learning for all, will present the diplomas. And on the ramp to my left, our seniors end with where it began, as they are congratulated by our elementary and middle school administrators. As they leave the Fieldhouse today, they are congratulated by all of you, the friends, the family, and the community members who have supported them. Today, we celebrate as a high school, a school district, and as a community. I am incredibly proud to present the class of 2025. Maya Beth Absalon. Danica Jean Alderman. Matthew Hamilton Arsenault, High Honors, National Honor Society. Dulce Maria Arsenio Ortez, Highest Honors. William Lawrence Bakastoon, Highest Honors. Ava Elizabeth Balmer. Anna Jean Barth. Riley Annabeth Beam. Evelyn Elizabeth Bogus. Sienna Lavea Bonner. Emma Catherine Borden. Kendall Ann Marie Bornitz. Nathaniel Andrew Brace. Emily Marion Brewer. Gia Christina Borson, High Honors. Samuel Jake Brown. Isabel Suzanne Lynn Berg. Zachary Stephen Berg. Kennedy Josephine Busta, highest honors, National Honor Society. Bodie Douglas Calloway, highest honors, National Honor Society. Noah Michael Chenault, highest honors, National Honor Society. Justin James Chenard. Macy Haven Clark. Ruby Rain Clemmer. Braxton Claremont. Cameron J. Cornett, highest honors. Tyler David Costin. Ayush Prasad Diethanker, highest honors, National Honor Society. Reagan Darvu. Amara Rose Dayton, honors. Bethany Rose Dearman. Michael Demera. Lauren Elizabeth Denker, honors. Alexandra Joe Draskowski, highest honors, National Honor Society. Eva Marie Dreyer. Kaimea Takao Ducharme. Shay Disher. Autumn Reese Dulier. Carissa Jo Marie Evans. Dylan Michael Everson. Grace Jillian Evelyn Fabian. Gabrielle Farr, international student from France. Samuel Finch. Ava Lee Fletty, honors, National Honor Society. Jack Robert Foglia. Carter Joshua Fortune. Kaylee Ann Fry. Cameron Lee Gage. Alexander Jack Gamble. Jenna Marie Ganson, highest honors, National Honor Society, honor medallion recipient. Dominic Gendron. John Finn Goebel, highest honors, National Honor Society. Chancellor Gowie. Nolan Andrew Gra Risto. Alex McLaurin Grobe. Bella Rose Gutierrez, highest honors, National Honor Society. Samuel Anthony Maynard Hagan. Lydia Hartman, highest honors, National Honor Society. Andrew Maxwell Hatcher. Julia Josephine Hauser. Emma Christine Hayes, highest honors, National Honor Society. Marianne Elizabeth Heiderscheit. Brooke Abigail Hintz, highest honors, National Honor Society. Michael David Hintz. Addison Elizabeth Hoff. Madeline Grace Hogeveen, honors. William Richard Horseman. Noah Robert Hogum, high honors. Aiden D. Hughes, highest honors, National Honor Society. Eddie Hughes, highest honors, National Honor Society. Tyson Randall Hughes, highest honors, National Honor Society. Grace Patricia Hughesby. Kason James Irwin. Bryce Russell Kegamine. Megan Jean Comperud, highest honors, National Honor Society. Olivia Riley Conradi Buchel, highest honors, National Honor Society. Olivia Renee Kunkel, high honors. Chloe Irene Langer. Alexa Larson, highest honors. Danielle Rose Colleen Lass. Ethan Lee. Jean Shuana Lee. Jill Shua Lee. Kenji Vatao Lee. Selfie D. Lee, highest honors. Anders John Lester. Finn Russell Lester. Michael Carnell Lean, high honors. Lauren Ray Limberg, high honors. Eli Lindley. Zoe Elizabeth Leffelholtz, highest honors, National Honor Society. Adeline Venice Lawrence, honors, National Honor Society. Madeline Elizabeth Lonsborough. Kendall Marie Lupker. Odessa Ava Mauder. Wesley Peter Michael Marr. Ethan Anthony Major. Gabrielle Maldonado Garcia, highest honors. John Claude Murray. Haley Rose Marsh. Gwen Victoria Marceau, highest honors, National Honor Society. Camarion DeAndre Martin. Eliana Amanda Mascotti. Tristan Z. McCoy. Sean Wallace McCain. Kylene Grace McNeese, highest honors, National Honor Society. Mallory Sue Meehan, highest honors, National Honor Society. Savannah Rose Messmer. Sawyer Todd Meyer. Levin Constance Miller, highest honors. Reese Emerson Miller, highest honors, National Honor Society. Zeta N. Mills. Amelia May Moore. Kippa Lou Moore. Marta Mora, international student from Spain. Maya Elise Mosier St. Ford. Michaela Rose Moss, highest honors, National Honor Society. Lydia Jean Moxness. Justin Nieberman. Diego Jose Nira. Evan Robert Nelson. Lily Ann Netwall, honors, National Honor Society. Mika Keem Wynn. Hannah Michelle O'Rourke, high honors. Michael Brian Odegaard, high honors. Addison Kate Olsevich. Peyton Olivia Oliver. Jalen S. Olson. Katara Marie Olson, highest honors, National Honor Society. Olivia Grace Pantzer. Mati T. Patel, highest honors, National Honor Society. Yash J. Patel, highest honors, National Honor Society. Vishnu Prakash, highest honors, National Honor Society. Isabella Marley Prey, highest honors. Emmanuel Nagatu Putz, honors, National Honor Society. Nicholas John Putz, honors. Snigdha Rajmanuri, highest honors, National Honor Society. Catherine Margaret Ramsey, highest honors, National Honor Society. Jaden Jamie Randall, highest honors, National Honor Society. Mason Philip Richardson. Tanner Lee Roberge. Claire Alexandra Roby. Michaela Rachel Root. Rebecca Lorem Ruati. Mackenzie June Rundy, Honors, National Honor Society. Alara Key Running, highest honors, National Honor Society. Scarlett Lyle John Ryan. Gianna Grace Sanchez, highest honors, National Honor Society. Elena Ray Sanders. Sonia Ann Schonecker. Sienna K. Shepke. Lila Danae Schultz, highest honors. Erin Joan Seberg. Sky Rose Seidel. Peyton Vincent Shanley, honors. Lucy Catherine Slaughter. Jack Hudson Smith. Braden Christopher Snow. Pierce Cannon Summerfield, highest honors, National Honor Society. Sebastian Cole Spies. John Joseph Squire. Kyle Allen Steers. Broden Joseph Steiner. Ella Sanea Stevens. Landon Luke Stewart. Jack Sylvester Stone, honors. Clayton Henry Gary Stubinall. Alexis K. Sulentic, highest honors, National Honor Society. Nolan James Sullivan, highest honors, National Honor Society. Abigail Aaron Sitzma, highest honors, National Honor Society. Natalie Gray Tevis, highest honors, National Honor Society. Jaylee Tao, high honors. Mycie Tao. Vincent Tao. Haley Elizabeth Thiel, high honors. Leah Marie Teese, highest honors, National Honor Society. Roman Richard Thorson. Callie Lynn Marie Thrower. Jackson Earl Tillman. Matthew James Tillman. Tamara D. Tansei Borapa. Ethan Francis Topolsky, highest honors. Nicholas Toro Bastida, international student from Spain. Derek H. Tran. Alexis Faith Van Ravenstein, highest honors. Derek Vang. Lachia T. Vang. Longshi Vang. Olivia Vang. Felipe Vang. Maggie Thomas Van Evenhoven, Principal's Award recipient. Ryan Gensch Breens. Alex Kai Vu. Grace Gashia Vu. Lucian Vu. Daniel Alexander Waldstein. Tatum Era Walters, highest honors, National Honor Society. Andrew Derek Weigel. Brian Wen, high honors. Olivia Susan Wenger, highest honors. John Joseph Rowinski, honors, National Honor Society. Madeline Grace West, highest honors, National Honor Society. Riley Owen Westland. Arlo Lauren White, highest honors, National Honor Society. Cassidy Jean Wick. Kaomi Widger, honors. Lucas James Williams. Emma Grace Williams. Emma Grace Willman. Madeline Elizabeth Wilson, highest honors, National Honor Society. Connor James Worth. Keaton Robert Wood. Elizabeth Jean Wycheck. Evan Fukong Zhang. Maddox Zhang, high honors. Shuana Zhang. Ali Jalia Yang. David Koping Yang. Gao Ku Yang, highest honors, National Honor Society. Paul Va Meng Yang. Rachel Lin Young. Vincent Zito. Myron Thulate Gandra, international student from Basque Country. Connor Alan Zwicky, highest honors. At this time, would Jenna, Lydia, Snigda, Lila, and Pierce join me in front of the stage? This impressive group of 5 graduates all tied for the valedictorian honors. As a group, they've completed 42 advanced placement courses as well as several courses at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. Congratulations to Jenna, Lydia, Snigda, Lila, and Pierce. As they return to their seats, Mr. Coe, can we have the school song one last time?